You ever see these guys? The Steelers Dynasty Podcast. What morons. Bubba is funny, but that Shane guy's a simpleton. Jamie, pull that clip up. Yeah, the Steelers Dynasty one. Can you believe these dumb Steelers? Fans, watch this crap. Yeah, that's it. Look at these two. Wow. You're watching the Steelers Dynasty Podcast with Bubba and Shane. These guys are morons, really dumb, funny, but dumb.
Well, that was a great intro, and I have no idea how he called me funny and what he said to Shane, but I don't know how we got it, but we got it. That is our new intro, and that is crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Steelers Dynasty Podcast, Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. I'm your host, Bubba Brewer, and I'm going to introduce the Mountaineer Mafia, host of Mountaineer Mafia. He is my co-host. He's a man of many talents. Special field correspondent, Shane Stodmiller. Shane, how you doing?
He called you funny, but he called me a simpleton?
A simpleton. How did he? Somebody must have asked him something at a comedy. Was he at the comedy club in Texas or something?
I don't know. Maybe he was seeing Shane Gillis in Pittsburgh.
Well, maybe they do hang out a lot. So, hey, tonight we have a special guest, Shane, and he's been on the show numerous times. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get his marquee up. He is the host of Steelers Realm Podcast.
Look at that. Isn't that shiny?
Yeah, that's every Thursday nights, I believe, and he'll talk to you all about it here. But here is the guy, the anchor of Steelers Realm Podcast, JT. JT, how you doing, sir?
Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for having me, man. All these titles getting thrown out there.
Yeah, well, you had me on last week, and that was a great show. And I'm like, hey, if you're not doing nothing, and you're like, I threw out the bat signal, and you're like, hey, Bubba, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So
fun
tell everybody about the Steelers Realm if they haven't subscribed, where you guys are at and what you're
we're on every Thursday night at 9. Now we're going one a week now in the off season, now that we retired early. But Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Catch us anywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and 100 other places. So, yeah, we're always looking for something new. This off season, as you guys know, it's a great time to just kind of sit back, look at the season, and we're like, man, we might have missed a lot of stuff, but hey, we got great ideas going into this year and the off season, trying to maintain optimism. I think that's the key.
How are you doing that? How are you doing that?
It's tough right now. I think, the wounds are still healing. So,
let me ask you a question. How did you feel after that lovely playoff game with the Ravens?
Oh, it was a missed opportunity, pure and simple. I thought, okay, well, the previous Ravens Steelers game, it was going to come, right? You knew it was coming. Sooner or later, Lamar is going to have a good day, or either that or the Steelers are going to have a bad day and Lamar is going to get the credit for it. But either way, he did. And we're like, that stigma and the playoff stigma with Lamar, I'm like, I don't know, man. I just felt in my gut that we had a chance to take it, and again, another missed opportunity. Same with the previous game, really. The second game could have won the division in that game. So again, missed opportunities, and I just don't think we're to the level. We're not to the winning playoff game level, and it looks like we might not be for a couple years.
Ooh, that was my question. You already beat me to the punch, JT. Because I always ask Shane, and Shane, I'm going to ask you first. Since we haven't had anything going on, what is your feel of any type of Steeler stuff going into this 2.5 weeks with nothing?
Well, let me put it this way. It's like taking your wife out to Redneck Lobster and then betting to see how long it takes you before you shit yourself before you get home. And Redneck Lobster being Long John Silver's, not Red.
Okay. I was like, wow. Okay.
Red Lobster make you shit too, but in 40 minutes. Long John Silver is about a 20-minute time delay before that explosion.
They still have one of those in West Virginia.
They have it in Butler. They
In
have
Butler.
in the Long John Silver.
Yeah, we don't have one in Indiana. We're shit out of luck.
Red Lobster is Long John Silver's. So you can sit there, if you're at Red Lobster, you can watch the poor people eat Long John Silver's.
That's right.
Steelers fans feel like
budget.
they're looking down at the Browns at Red Lobster, knowing that in 40 minutes they're going to shit themselves. They're no better than the Browns fans. We're no better than the Browns. We're no better than Cincinnati. We're right at that level.
Yeah,
just
right.
maybe a win or two better. What do they say? Penthouse dreams, outhouse budget. That's pretty accurate for this.
So,
this
what do you think? What do you think, JT, with this slow, lovely Steelers stuff? Where would you like them to be right now, but they're not?
Well, you guys both know that the Steelers don't move fast like that. They're going to sit back. They're going to keep things under wraps. No, Chicago, don't even waste your time bother and talk about Mike because he's staying here. But hey, Tomlin knows what it's needed to take, what it's going to take, right? Did you hear that interview? Rob King interviewed, interviewing Art.
But Art
and he's so happy with the situation now.
He said
Art's happy.
1,000 times.
What's that, Shane?
Art Rooney said disappointed, like it's like a god darn drinking game. Disappointed.
It's Groundhog's Day. It's the same thing he's been saying last year and the year before.
It is. Yeah, we're sick of not winning playoff games last year. We know what it takes to do it, and Tomlin has to do it, and we have faith in Mike that he's going to do it.
Well, Afton brought up they're looking for an O-line coach. Jim, what do you think about the O-line coach that we have right now until they get rid of him? Do you think they'll get rid of him?
I don't know. You hear Russ Grimm's name thrown out there. I don't know where he is or anything about that. This whole coaching carousel, to me, I kind of look at it like a lot of guys. I don't follow college football. You don't as much as I do the NFL, but it's just this coaching carousel. It just was crazy. Now we're hearing stories of McCarthy. Maybe, we could talk about that later too, but the Steelers just don't move fast.
So McCarthy, we can talk about it right now. So McCarthy's name has been brought into somewhere in the Steelers.
Well, there was talk of him maybe going to the Saints, and then he kind of came out and poo-pooed that idea. I'm just paraphrasing here, but he came out and poo-pooed that idea and said, no, I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to take a year off, basically. And I don't know if he was going to be an assistant or somebody on the sidelines in the background or what, or just step away from it. But he's definitely not going to be coaching next year. So who knows? There may be a place for him, maybe O coordinator.
That's what he did. He was the O coordinator. He was the O coordinator before McCarthy.
Well, no, he was head coach.
He was a head coach, but before that, he was an O coordinator.
I believe so, right, Shane? I'm not 100% sure on that, but
yeah.
So how would if we do bring him in? So him and Arthur Smith, how would that? Because we're not getting rid of him. He's down. He's down in the Senior Bowl. Him and Austin. So
and again, fast forward back to point one again. The Steelers just don't move slow like that. So he's not going anywhere. Tomlin's not going anywhere. We may see. I don't know. I mean, both offense and defensive line, in my mind, they're still a priority. If you don't win in the trenches, you don't go anywhere. It doesn't matter if you have Saquon Barkley or Henry or anybody. If you can't open holes and protect your quarterback, it's not going anywhere. So, Russ, bless his heart, as they say down in the South, and that's not always a good thing. But
well,
he just kind of ran out of time at the end of the year or something.
Okay, see, Afton knows everything.
Yep.
See, she knows.
She's our producer.
Yeah.
Doesn't know she's our producer, but she is.
Resident fact checker.
Yeah. So
okay, OC Saints and 49. That's why the Saints that his name was being connected to them again.
But I don't see him coming to Pittsburgh because him and Tomlin, they probably won't. They're not like peanut butter and jelly, and I don't think they're getting rid of anybody. Arthur Smith is going to be our offensive coordinator. Terrell Austin is going to be our defensive coordinator, because if they had got rid of him, they wouldn't be going down to the Senior Bowl looking at talent. And so it's going to be like secondary coach. It's going to be position coaches. Now, besides the offensive line, JT, and I'll ask you first, what other position do you think that the Steelers should get a new coach in?
Well, they just brought in a receivers coach last year, right? Azini or Azizi or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, from what, I was listening to some talk radio this afternoon, and they were talking about how hard he was on Pickens all year long. So, I mean, you're going to switch that or just kind of keep that going, see if you can rein him in this year.
Yeah. That's the receiver. See, she's awesome. That's the receivers coach. Now,
right. So, but I don't think that should. I think, line coaching.
Line coaching, Shane. What do you think? What do you think about keeping this receiver coach or getting someone else?
It doesn't matter because they don't have until they get some receivers. It's like who are
you going to coach?
And it's like you got Beans, and Bryce. I mean, you got to have something to cook with. My biggest question is, are the Steelers, they seem to have a taste for shopping at like the dollar store, Goodwill. They got Russell on the discount, and they got Fields on the discount. I mean, what are your thoughts, JT and Bubba, of maybe the Steelers are speculated at maybe it's a swear word.
Don't say that. Don't you
go ahead.
I think you're going to say.
Go ahead.
He has a $100 contract with the Falcons. Is going to be shit canned probably. Be available. What do you think?
No. I would stay. I would probably just stay with Justin Fields if the opportunity is available for him to sign, Shane. That's what I would, because I think Russ is probably going to the Raiders. I think, but also too, if somebody takes Justin Fields and pays him a little more than the Steelers and guarantees he's starter, he could roll out. And then I have no idea. After that.
Well, hey, I got to ask the chat something, because I think Afton and Kelly tuned in a little late, maybe even George. Did you guys even listen to Joe Rogan did our intro? Did you hear that? Kelly, come on. I told you.
Joe he did your intro.
I think Joe does know. We're waiting for that phone call to cease and desist. But also, too, since they're not doing nothing, a lot of Steeler fans, how can we, and I'll ask, because we're going to ask a lot of questions on this show tonight, how being a Steeler fan, and we have to spend a little bit and try to, because it's one-sided with his defense, is high priced, and then it just got shellacked in that last game. So what do you think the Steelers need to do?
Once they get the quarterback room settled, whose name I heard mentioned today?
Ooh, let's hear it.
Mason Rudolph.
I've heard that too.
I heard that, but as a backup.
As a backup, yeah.
Backup.
But, I mean, I could totally see the Steelers pulling something like that, signing Justin. But, guys, let's face it, we need to up this receiver room, or we're not going anywher.
Yeah, I think
we're not a threat. We're not a threat. And we've got to be able to have an offensive plan that other defenses can't figure out so easily. Yeah. It's pretty pitiful. The comments you see from players that have played Pittsburgh, and they're like, If they come out in this set, we know what they're running. I mean, it's pure and simple.
That's not good though. The culture in the Steelers locker room is ridiculously timid, and they're not showcasing, and they can't showcase because they just don't have the talent. And I just said Russ to go to the Raiders because he's probably going to go somewhere, because the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't going to. They're not going to. The biggest problem is getting a quarterback and going from there, but they're still not doing nothing. But I just don't see them giving that a lot of money to Russell. I just don't.
No,
that's not going to happen. I mean, if for some strange reason they end up signing Russell, I don't think it's going to be for big money.
I don't know if he would sign.
It just depends. I mean, is there a
economics.
lure to get back with Pete Carroll again? I mean, who knows what he says all the right things, always has, but I just don't see his future here. It's Justin's to lose, I think. But then again, that other guy we call Mittens and Mason Rudolph probably thought that too going into last year, but God knows. It's going to be a long off season. I can tell you that.
Okay,
we
Shane, what do you think? What do you think about this comment that Afton said about the offense is young and lacks leadership and maturity?
Usually, like, the O-line guys stick with the O-line guys, the defensive guys stick with the defensive guys. So I can't see Cam, unless it's Debo. He used to stick his nose in everything, which is kind of good, like staring at the kicker when he was kicking. Right when they got Boswell in that story was great, but. I don't see Cam getting into anybody else's business or like really saying a whole heck of a lot. Not that I know the guy, but
I thought you did. I thought you hung out with him once, a couple times, right?
Yeah. Just got his autograph back there.
Yeah. So who do you think right now, Shane, would be the man to be being the leader of that offense?
Well, I think some of the young talent's going to have to come up and take a hold. I mean, I could see like a keystone of the offensive line, whether it be McCormick or Frazier after a couple years taking that role. A quarterback, if they get someone in that is a legitimate franchise quarterback. But as it stands, there's no options out there. There's no one better than what they have in Fields. So I would roll with Fields. Best bang for your buck. If you're going to spend the money, you at least have someone that's pliable. And also, I think that Alabama quarterback is the same type of skill set as Fields. So so if you get exactly. If you get those guys in the quarterback room, at least the plays are going to be the same, and you can run the same type of offense, because it all starts from there. And then, like JT said, if you don't have anybody up front blocking, there's going to be no holes. And I didn't think they would do this, but they might sign Najee. What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Thought.
I like Najee, but he just doesn't have that burst of speed through. He's a bigger back that is better in the fourth quarter. So let me ask you, JT, who do you think would be the offensive leader as of right now that you can think of?
It's got to be Justin. It's got to be Justin.
Okay.
It has to. I honestly think kind of the team kind of rallied around him a little bit. There was a change of pace, kind of like when a goalie gets 4 goals on him within the first 3 minutes of the game. He's coming on. It's not because he's a bad goalie. It's just not his game. I think when Russ came in, showed some flair and the ability to be able to read defenses a little bit better. There was some excitement there. Najee was running hard. But then it just, I don't know, over time, man, it just warmed down, that 3 games in a 10 days stretch. I think this team just got worn down, what was left of them. I mean, the offensive line with the injuries right off the bat, even the linebacker injuries, Holcomb. We were thinking, well, maybe he'll come back this year. We might never see him again. But
no, I think they're going to cut him. I believe they'll cut him.
Yeah,
as a salary cap kind of. They're gonna trim a lot of stuff. I heard there are, and I do believe Frazier will be a leader. I don't know when he's going to come about like that, Afton, but I do believe you're probably right. It will take a little bit of time. But as in the offense, he probably solidifies that offense because he's been playing 90% since he got into. Now he's number one center. So
he's the man. Yeah, he's the man.
And Kelly, I think that would be the leader of the offense, of him getting everybody solidified on that offensive line. We just don't know who's going to be he's hiking the ball to, and I heard I heard that too.
That's a safe bet money wise. I mean, with running backs anymore, you don't put money into a running back that's been here a few years. That just doesn't happen. That hasn't happened in 12 years. So,
right.
Hygiene coach.
I mean, I don't know, because the Steelers haven't done anything. So any Steeler podcasting stuff, and we're pulling stuff, and these are all what ifs. Like I'm playing the Watcher in the What If Disney series, and this is highly unlikely that there is no starting quarterback in the Steelers organization right now. Well, Skylar Thompson, but we're not banking. If he's starting, then you know what? We're getting the top 3 picks somewhere. I mean, that's
Kyle Allen.
I don't think he signed. He's a free agent too.
Is he?
Yeah, all 3 quarterbacks are free agents.
Well, would be a fun podcast is to take a look at that. I had that graph up last week. Was looking at that, all the free agents, the unrestricted free agents coming up this year. 16, 17, something.
There's
like
a lot
that.
of them.
There's
a lot of them.
And we're like, it would be fun to just go through that list. Okay, who will be here next year? And just like pick yes, no.
It's like throwing a dart.
Yeah.
And Dawn, you're absolutely right. Probably Zach and Muth. Muth is a little bit more outspoken lately.
Yeah, he is.
In the locker room. So, yeah, maybe it's Muth and maybe Zach. Because
Zach's
we don't have –
too. Zach, from what I know of him, he lets his woodworking speak for him.
Yeah, he's not a rah-rah guy. He doesn't seem like a rah-rah guy.
He's not.
No,
He's
not out there leading those rah-rah speeches at the beginning of the games or anything. No, he doesn't seem like that. But lead by example. Yeah.
He's a guy that'll give you a look.
Well, that's all you need sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
He'll give you a look. Yeah.
But, I mean, we already talked about the receiving, that we're short. And do we keep George Pickens?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, he's on the verge of greatness or failure. I guess that's the only way I can kind of sum that dude up. He's either going one way or the other. And
wow,
I agree with that.
Trade him. Oh wow, and we don't even have anybody if we do trade him.
Nope.
Hey, if Belichick was still coaching, who I would be like, there's the one team that would pick him up. But it would be New England. But
now it's Kansas City. So Kansas City would pick him up.
He takes all the crazy ones, or Baltimore. It would absolutely not trade him to Baltimore. Anybody in the AFC for that matter.
See, I'm never going to live that down.
So how about this one? How about TJ Watt?
No, that's.
I think his I think they're going to restructure his contract.
He's not. He's going to stay. That's the one first trade.
I don't know.
You think I think you would lose fans, like people that are like borderline. The casual fan is just going to be, I'm not watching anymore.
Devil said that's insane.
I
just think
it's crazy thought. It's crazy thought, but I mean the dude's value is still there. Mm-hmm. If not, he's going to be a Steeler for life.
Remember when a team traded Reggie White?
Well, there's been a lot of those. There's been a lot of those that have gone on. Rod Woodson, for example.
Well, Rod. I mean, they didn't change the position with him. If he'd have just went from corner to safety, Steelers wasn't doing that. If they'd have done that, he probably would have stayed a Steeler because he was still very, very good because he played great with the Raiders. And then he,
they ended up doing that with Carnell Lake, though, right? Wasn't it?
I think they did. I think they did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Lake was still. I mean, Lake was. I liked Lake. I mean, but those defenses were defenses, but also too. The Steelers had an intimidating factor, which we don't have anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And and that's the sad part. And he was a free agent. So I'm trying to get all these comments. If you guys have comments that you want to bring on, let us know. I'll put it in the thing and we can discuss it. But I don't think they'll get rid of TJ. I think they'll restructure. And I think he was hurt in his last 5 games.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think so too. I think he never really came back from that injury. He played, but
what do you think? He pulled himself out of this lovely Pro Bowl. What do you think about this Pro Bowl, JT? Are you going to watch the Pro Bowl games with the pinochle card game and the shuffleboard and
the flag football?
Yeah, you going to watch that?
Only if it happens to be on at the moment that I'm watching TV, which is maybe a couple hours here and there. So I don't know. I might, but
Shane, what about you?
No, I don't even know when it's on.
DJ,
I'll watch the Lingerie Bowl.
And that's what it is right there.
We can't put that on.
Oh, well, that's happy, but I'm not happy watching the Pro Bowl. So.
No, but there still is a cool element there to see these guys out with their helmets off and just being together. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's discuss this one. Okay, Dawn. If we talk about trading TJ, and TJ's never won a playoff game, and maybe he is tired of it because he can't correct the problem, and you're not given. And the defense is 140 some million. I'm not saying that, but also too, he's never going to win. If he never wins a playoff game and he gets his career sack and never win a playoff game, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. All 3 brothers retire without a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, Don, you have to talk about these type of things. I mean, that the leadership, if they are worth anything, is all possibilities are on the table in order to be successful.
Yep. It's business. Yeah. No, I agree, DJ. I don't think DJ is going. I don't think he's going anywhere. But
I don't think so either. But
it'd be a contract restructure. He's due what, $30 million this year or something?
Yeah, something like that. But they've restructured, and then you never. Who knows? If someone sweetened the pot and gave, say, 2 first-round picks or
and lifetime smiley cookies.
Yeah, and some Eaton Park smiley faces. I don't know. So let me get to we already got that one. Boop. Well, they could play Madden for the Pro Bowl. That'd be good. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous now anyway. The Pro Bowl was good in the 70s and 80s, early 90s. It's terrible.
I enjoy
Hey, what do you think of adopting a baseball kind of Pro Bowl thing?
Like softball, like a softball, the NFC versus the AFC in a softball game.
Oh, that's a great idea too. Yeah, why not that?
Entertaining.
Well, isn't it a baseball if the if the National League wins the how does that work? Something they get home. Yeah,
they get home field if they win. Yeah, they get home field, and if they win in the All-Star game, they get the home field advantage in the World Series.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This TJ Watt topic is hot. I see.
Yeah, we stirred the pot with that one.
Yeah.
But, like Shane says, I mean, everything's on the table at this point.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, look, I love TJ Watt, but playoff time, he was non-existent in his last 5 games, even though he had that ankle injury. I don't know. I don't know what can we have any more years like the last 3? If we have them 3 more, what are we going to do? We're going to be in the same spot 3 years from now, and we got nothing accomplished. That could happen too.
Well, we have to build behind him for one. I mean, we got Nick Herbig. He's mostly a right side guy, though, too. Are we going to move him around? Are we going to get a little bit more creative? Is Austin going to let these guys move around some? I don't know. Are they going to?
Well, let me ask you a question, and I'll go to Shane. Do you think next year? Do you think Austin's actually, since he's going to be the DC, is he ever going to be able to coach because now we don't blitz anymore? No,
I'm clueless on that one. Like,
okay,
we are in such a state of limbo at this point in time, and as slow as these guys move, and they just sit back and watch everybody like flying off the handle and hire him and fire him and change this guy and sign him. They just don't move like that. But I do see some moves coming in the off season. Maybe a coordinator position or some changing around of the guards a little bit.
So you see us getting an offense
on the Titanic.
You see us getting a bigger, not a position coach, but you see us getting an OC or DC before the draft.
No,
we're staying the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe
Okay.
assistants or this or that.
Yeah.
Heck, we missed out on Hines Ward as receivers coach again, but we don't have.
Where'd he go now?
Where was it?
He's there.
Did he go somewhere?
He did. I heard he was announced as. Maybe these guys know.
I mean, Afton will probably pull it up here in a second.
Yeah,
if he's signed, but he would be a great sign just for the leadership of the locker room. See, she's no coordinator changes.
You don't think so, DJ?
I don't think. I know they're not, because they're down in the Senior Bowl. They're not changing anybody.
Yeah,
I think they're just going to keep with the same people and the same stuff. It's insanity, actually.
All right, so let me throw this question out to you guys. Let's go even higher level here.
Okay.
What's the biggest problem, if you were to sum it up, and all the problems on the players and all the problems in the coaching?
He's Arizona State.
What do you think was the biggest at fault there? Was it a lack of talent or a lack of effective coaching on the talent that you have?
Oh, that's a good.
A little bit of both. I mean, it's not just one or the other. I mean, I can't think of the game. What game was that, Bubba and JT, where right before the half, they had a chance to just punt the ball away. They went for it on 4th down. It was like really gave them a great field position for at least a freaking field goal. It would have been a layup field goal, but they drove down and scored, and they end up losing that game. And it was like the second one of the 5th loss.
Was it?
Shit, I'm trying to think what it was.
Well, there was a couple games this past year that it could have been, because the time management with the last 2 minutes weren't very good in the first half, and it cost us.
I'll find it.
One game. It cost us getting the lead maybe in a game. I can't remember. So lack of effective play calling. And not being able to adapt offensively to the modern age of offense.
Well, that kind of it questions the staleness of it all. I mean, for something we've been fans for a long time. We've seen them come and go, and we've seen them just get stale. I mean, I remember watching it happen to Noel even.
I did too. What
was going on in the game and seeing it? It happens. LeBeau. That was in my mind, losing LeBeau, for him to just kind of phase out at that point in time. That was the toughest end of an era of any of the coaching era for me. Cowher was probably second, but yeah, I mean, it just gets stale. Everybody keeps referring to Andy Reid and the situation in Philadelphia, and he comes out to Kansas City, gets himself a franchise quarterback, and
that's the ticket. That's the key.
that's a scratch off. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets that opportunity that kind of it's kind of like it's a scratch off, I call it. You know, it's like
Really is. You got to get that perfect match of coach and franchise quarterback together.
I mean,
you would have think like a Marino and Shula. What about that? But they never got there.
The Bills had Belichick and Saban at the same time, and they couldn't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of everything.
But you get that right matchup, Belichick and Brady. There you go.
Do you think, and it's a what if we ever get a franchise quarterback, will the franchise quarterback we get able to be a franchise quarterback with this system and the surrounding teammates and coaching that we have?
I go back to 2018, and that answer is no, because 2018 you had that fantastic offense. AB had 15 touchdowns that year, 1,023 yards, and you had a good running back. The defense was good, couldn't get it done. So
the defense was not that. Jacksonville put up some major points, and we've never recovered in the playoffs. And I don't. The statistics that I've seen with the playoffs that the Steelers has not been very good, and we haven't been in any playoff game. We haven't even been close. Yeah. But I honestly don't know. And by the time that we get an opportunity for a franchise quarterback, I don't know where we'll be. Because even if we have a winning season, we're going to be in the middle of the pack. And I don't know the quarterback draft next year. I don't know if those would, you know what I mean? So we won't be getting any of them,
This where we're at right now kind of reminds me is like the earliest we were heading into that 80s.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was brutal. Coming and goading, the Kent Grahams of the world and Jim Millers and all those. Like it was just like one year after the other. Oh, let's put all our eggs in this basket.
Okay, so
here we are.
Okay, we got another question.
Bitch.
Queen, don't give Queen the green dot. Is he that bad at not being able to be the leader, calling with the green dot, or who would you get? Would you give it to LaDainian Roberts? But isn't he a free agent too? Or do you give it to, Wilson in the middle? I don't know. I just feel like they're going through the motions on both sides of the ball, and they're just the lack of urgency is not anywhere around. And then by the time it's there, it's too late. So
maybe they might pull a major league, and you get like a Willie Mays Hayes next year, and might be trying to tank. I know they're not going to do that, but that would be kind of cool. And then you get a number 1 draft pick.
You know what? If they came out and said, you know what, we're blowing this up. We're blowing this up. We're trading all of it. I would not be opposed to that.
Me neither.
Really. I mean, we just keep falling in the middle of the pack year after year after year we thought with these, the Steelers kind of changed their attitude a little bit.
Get him, there's the franchise right there. But to get him, we have to. He's coming out what? 2026. To get him, we have to be in the top 5.
Talking about Manning? Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way, unless we trade the whole farm. There is no way that we're getting him, because we haven't had a number 1 pick since Terry Bradshaw the fucking year I was born, 1971, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. But Bradshaw was number 1, 71. I'm 53. And there is no way we're getting I mean, I would love to have a Manning as a quarterback. You know what I mean? But I just can't see that happening, and I can't see us losing that many. We're going to be competitive. God only knows how. But we're going to be still enough to be, 9 and whatever. unless if we don't sign any big players offensively. There's no way we get him. I mean, I would love to get him.
Yeah, Holcomb's not coming back.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he is.
No, I just think he's not 100. Yes, he's eyeing, defensive tackles, but I don't.
DJ brings up an interesting point. Too much of the best player available shit too. I'm not sure that they've been doing that lately. Used to be their motto. All right, well, we're not drafting for position, we're drafting for talent. So I think Blitzen was one of those picks in those.
But if we go in the last 10 years of the draft, like draft classes, there's draft classes that aren't even playing in the NFL right now out of the Steelers. I think the 1 year, I don't think anybody's playing. If they are, they're second teamers somewhere else. We don't have anybody from that 1 year, and I can't remember the Drew Archer year, whatever that year that was. There's nobody around. That's terrible.
We went through that list one time. It was.
I mean, I don't know. 1970. No, I'm sorry, 70. Thanks, George. 71. Who did draft in 71? Bradshaw was 70. My bad. 71 was.
Those weren't good memory years for me.
Yeah, well, I don't remember.
70s, still a blur.
Wasn't Jack Ham. 72 was Franco. But that team started from 69 and drafting, and that was all through the draft.
That's 5 years.
Yeah, so built through
that was all. That's what it took them. And the Steelers, if they would have, had a team in the 80s to three-peat, they ran out of gas and they were all getting older.
I was chatting with somebody, kind of come back to what you said earlier. We're talking about quarterbacks. I was chatting with somebody, and why I laughed so hard is my comment was like, new quarterbacks, like they were talking about, Kirk Cousins and all these veteran guys coming back in. I'm like, no, why would they want to come here? This is where quarterbacks come to die.
But why would you want to come here anyway?
Well, because it's a country club. It's a country club.
But you're not winning a playoff game. Yeah. And I don't know what Omar's plan is, Bob. I don't know. Hopefully,
who knows?
Restructure some deals, get some money, and put it all into the offense because we need to score.
74 best draft of the NFL.
Yeah, that was the best. That was a Hall of Fame ceremony there. But the last couple of years, Dawn, they haven't been blitzing. And I love your guys' comments. Keep it up.
No, they'll blitz a corner, or they'll bring a safety up. But
Frank Lewis. Frank Lewis is he was a receiver, and then he played at Buffalo, so he was the number one pick. Frank Lewis. See, these people in this community know, man. They know. These guys don't F around. They don't mess around. If we don't know it in 30 seconds, they find it in like 5. Yeah. 5 seconds, they get it.
Doug agrees with. We used to draft the best person available in the draft. Yeah, we've moved on for that. Now we're looking at positional stuff. We've been trying to fill with free agency, even more so than we've ever done.
I don't know.
It'll
be because like right now there's like nothing's going on. It's so dead. The Steelers is like a funeral with no bodies in the casket.
Here's a silver lining. Let me give you a silver lining and tell me if you agree.
Okay. I don't want to get negative. I'm trying to be positive.
No, I'll be positive.
Trying. Okay.
Con. Really, really surprised us last year with a decent draft class. Do you think he can build upon that and give us another A+ or A- draft class and fill these voids, and then also make some moves in free agency? Because he did things last year that were very, I don't know the term, un-Steeler-like, right?
Right.
So that gives me a glimmer of hope where it would absolutely be the just dismal down in the dumps, just, this sucks. But I'm a little bit excited to see what happens in the draft.
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
Jake. Go ahead.
maybe a second year in, it could enhance that. And I mean, you can never plan for injuries, and let's face it, that kind of sucked too. You know, with Feltano going down, and then even right beside him,
Well, yeah, Daniels
yeah, and Daniels too. That's
and,
3.
and Herbig's brother going out. So we lost 3 linemen in the first.
Nick, right off the
Yeah,
bat,
yeah,
or not Nick,
Nate.
Nate.
Yeah, when you lose 3 offensive linemen, 2 of them starters.
Ciamalu,
I mean, that's big too. But Shane, to get to your answer that I can try to answer at the best of my ability is now that when the Steelers draft, some of these players are going right into the lineup quickly. Where before, if it wasn't like the first or second, a lot of these other draft picks weren't getting a lot of time that they are now. So the last couple of years, and I never thought that, and I wasn't happy when they got Kenny, which Kenny might have a chance to win a Super Bowl, but being on sidelines. But I wasn't happy when we drafted Kenny because I wanted a nose tackle or somebody else, and then just get these quarterbacks that we had as the bridge for say they had these Mitch Trubisky's those years, then we had the opportunity. We probably could have drafted Jalen Daniels because maybe the Steelers would have been that bad. I don't know, or a Bo Nix, somebody, I don't know. But I don't know what they're going to do, and they need to do some kind of complete overhaul and do something so they can get over this hump where they can, get these draft players and pick them, and then get some free agents. Get a great free agent playmaker. Not so much on the defensive side of the ball. I think more of the offense. We got playmakers on defense. We got 4 of them that I could think of, 4 or 5. They just need that. That's Shane. I think something like that. They just need to. The third year of this Omar Khan draft and stuff like that, they get the players that they need and then get some free agents. But once again, we don't know who the signal caller is, and then we have to go by that, which is this is unreal anyway. I mean,
I agree. Trade Mika. That would be too much money. You get a lot of money back from the salary cap. You can fill that safety position with a bunch of younger guys. There's lots of good safeties in the draft this year.
We just didn't get first round talent out of them, or let's say first round production. I didn't reach into the mind of quarterbacks that were throwing against him, and maybe his presence, in deep center was a deterrent for a lot of quarterbacks. But I mean, one interception in 2 years?
Well, I mean, and Devil's got a point. The defense is that, but then they're on the field too long because our offense is 3 and out. Right. So if the offense was competitive, driving the balls, keeping the Steelers defense rested on the sidelines and having these drives and scoring points and not having 3 and outs, it would be a little bit different. But when you're that Philadelphia game, when the Steelers defense was on there for 12 minutes, it just broke their backs, and they never recovered.
Yeah, no.
I want to answer.
They never got the ball back.
I want to answer Daniel J. Harris's question here. Let Beanie.
Where's it at?
Down.
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. So here's
he's a West Virginia guy, Shane.
Yeah. Here's the problem with Beanie playing post safety. He's not a post safety. He's more of a nickel. He's more of a nickel coverage guy. So I wouldn't put him back there. He played that in college, but he can't play that in the NFL. He's a package guy. You need someone to play over with him. You need someone like Amika back there, and he's playing up.
Well, and that's if he was healthy for the playoffs. But if he's healthy for the playoffs and our offense can't score, we're still screwed. I mean, it's a double-ended sword.
Yeah, if we
You
can't
know?
cut down the amount of time they're on the field, then he's not going to be healthy at the end of the year, like he has not been.
Yeah, I mean other franchises that got out before that went golfing have a lot of other positions and stuff to worry about too. So I mean, realistically, the Steelers are just in the middle of the pack where we're above water barely, but we want to get like up to our hips out of water. That means we're going somewhere, like you're going on the beach, you know.
So I want to ask you guys for the draft, JT. What's the Realm podcast going to be doing for the draft? Are you going to do a draft show?
You know what? I mean, being in Pittsburgh, man, it would be great to go down there and do some shows from the draft itself. I mean, it'd be cool to hook up with a couple guys.
You got a whole year to plan, because in 2026, that's when they come. And I know we're getting ready, because I'll be calling off work and we're going to be doing something. And Mark from Steeler Nation Australia is coming back over, and we're definitely going to do something, because
I bet
I don't know if we can go 24/7. But
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I don't know. We'll probably that was kind of fun what we did before. Just going live and right up through the Steelers pick, and then kind of analyzing that.
Oh yeah. We're definitely that's what we'll be doing.
That was a blast.
Oh, thanks, Afton. We'll save you a chair.
We're also gonna have like a little get together and like a party for the fans too, kind of like we did for Christmas. There's gonna be a draft.
We had a few people.
Oh, that's
cool. Speaking of parties, I gotta say this, because this show is sponsored by Mucky Duck Mustard. www.morethanmustard.com. Right there, and you get 10% off when using the promo code The Chin. And that is some good mustard, barbecue sauce, and salad dressing. And now the barbecue ghost pepper stuff, it is a little hot.
It's not too bad, but it's made with cane sugar, none of this corn syrup processed crap. It's
right. And they do put it in a nice box. When you order this mustard, you get it very, very quickly from Michigan. They don't mess around. And we actually had we'll probably get some more, so we do some giveaways when we hit 400 subscribers. We get 400. You'll get a hat and a Mucky Duck Mustard.
Yeah. Nice hat, by the way, guys. Nice.
We SNS, Pat Usick did the stitching.
Yeah. Nice.
You know, Pat?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Pat does great work. Everybody knows Pat. Pat does great work.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some more comments, people. Thank you guys so much. Oh,
hey, while we're throwing stuff out here, I got some great news to announce too. Coming up February 20th, I just got confirmation. We have another VIP guest coming on Steelers Realm Podcast.
Oh, can you say it, or you got to wait?
I can say it. It was confirmed, but I'm just going to leave a tease out there. Let's say that you would hear him every Sunday during Steeler games.
Oh, Wolfley.
We'll just leave it at that.
You get
more to come on that. More to come on that.
Is he retired saying the Steeler stuff on a week?
No, Bill retired. Yeah, no, we're not having Bill on.
Nice.
Although I'd love to have him on again. He man, we just turned it on and let him run. When Bill goes, he goes. And no.
Well, that's what you did last week with Alexander. That was great. He was good, man.
Paul was fantastic. Although, yeah, man, I just didn't expect him to go that far down that road that he did, man. But he brought it up. But no, listen, Rob King will be on our podcast. The Voice
nice.
Nation will be on our podcast February 20th at about 8:30. So
you guys got it here. It was breaking news here on Steelers Dynasty Podcast. Steelers Realm is bringing in some VIP guests. I don't know how he sweetens them. Maybe he, tugs on, gives them a little hog. We can give him mustard and a hat. That's all we can get. We can't get anybody.
No, we've been fortunate to make some connections along the way, and as they build, then It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, some of these guys are out there. Sometimes just got to ask them and then kind of stay on them. But yeah, we
Yeah.
were fortunate. He agreed to come on. We were that fortunate when Bill Hillgrove agreed to come on as well, and Paul Alexander here just recently. So looking forward to building on
You
that.
still talk to Randy Fuller? You have
Yeah.
Randy on in a while.
Yeah, he's busy into something work wise.
Yeah, he's great, man.
He does
was
check
awesome.
in every once in a while. I text him every now and then. And still, with all this coaching carousel, I did reach out to Mike Malarkey. I was hoping to hear back from him too, but he's kind of got quiet.
When he was on your show, it broke the it made ESPN. So
yeah,
I mean,
the internet there for anyhow.
Yeah,
But
we only break the internet when me and Shane just get on and we show our face.
get on a rant.
Well, I mean, rants are good. Like I've been ranting. I did a rant the other day. I mean, you got to. I mean, I had to, Photoshop, Art Rooney's face out of Bill Murray, and I had him driving the groundhog thing. So I was trying to do that. But let's see here.
Yeah.
Gonna make my million. Gotta get.
When he gets his $1 million.
Well, he's never, Dougie. He's never gonna get fired. He's never
Tomlin
gonna get
will
fired.
only leave when Tomlin wants to leave.
Yep, he's never getting fired. So.
Now, although I will say this, if this continues next year, and then the next year, there's no way that the amount of pressure will be too great.
He'll go peaceably. He'll go actively and be like, "Thank you, I've had enough." They're not going to fire him.
He'll retire peacefully.
Yeah, and what we know what they're paying him, he's not going anywhere.
No,
and you can't fire Devil because Devil's got a high-priced job.
Right. As Paul Alexander said, he's got 50 million reasons to stay. So.
Yep. And he ain't going nowhere. I just wish he would just let the coaches coach.
That's the problem. He's got to control. He's a Belichick without the Belichick title. But he controls everything, unfortunately. And what are you going to do? Honestly, guys, I so much enjoyed the first Hard Knocks. And then after –
I haven't watched it since.
Steelers hit the shitstorm. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it, and even afterwards, I can't go back and watch it.
But when you first watch it, Tomlin looked like he was getting it was like he was playing Maximus in Gladiator.
Yeah,
like getting everybody ready, and it was a war. And like when Herbert got that strip sack, he's like, "I told you were going to do that." I mean, shit like that is like what was cool as shit. And I'm like, man. Because he was 10-3. He was looking at coach, probably a candidate for coach of the year. Yeah, and it just feels like someone just took a machete and cut the fucking legs out from under
him and the
team. The whole team. Like there was the fumes that got the car into the gas station, and they couldn't get no gas to fill up their tank.
Talk about ground today. I've been saying the only way they win is if Fields is a quarterback.
Well, and you've been saying it how long, Shane?
I've been on the Fields train for a while, and I made a bold prediction. It almost came true, but I think that
you almost had it too. And Shane did say that he's gonna be MVP, and that was before Russell Wilson got hurt.
Yeah. So
I was like,
yeah, I've always been in the Justin Fields. Ever since his rookie year, we played them in his rookie year, and it almost beat us. I think we ended up
watching that, Craig. I'll have to watch it later. I just both quarterbacks were good. I feel that we had two quarterbacks that could get us somewhere where we didn't have it before because we always had Big Ben and maybe Charlie Batch, because Charlie Batch was a great backup. I mean, he was very, very good at what he did. If Fields could read a defense, we'd be dangerous.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, is this or the Steelers the type of team to develop Justin Fields into that next level quarterback, that passer combination, passer runner, or is this team just not capable of doing it? I mean, Ben kind of did it despite the team, despite the coach. Well, he had his moments too, depending on the coordinator.
And we could say this, and we could sit here and every podcast, I'm sure every podcast, Steeler podcaster says the same thing. If somebody would, and we said, I think I said it last week, if Tomlin would have told Ben, say, hey, shut up and play, we would have had probably maybe Hurt or Herbert in a Steeler uniform. Like Jalen's going to the Super Bowl twice, and we can't even win a fucking playoff game. That's terrible.
I know.
I mean, I sometimes it boggles my mind, like why we're sitting on the sidelines seeing stuff go by. Like that game Sunday was, the referees are just making the NFL look like shit. Like it's looking like the WWE. You know what I mean? It looks like WrestleMania now. Like you're scripting it. You're booking the matches and you're booking an ending in the angle. It's ridiculous. You know?
I would spot the line for a tennis ball doing 140 miles an hour that's like that big around. How the hell can't they spot a football when I can see it from my naked eye watching TV? Like they lost the plane. It got past the first down.
I saw that analogy. That was good. And you know what? It's simple. You put it in both noses of the ball. You put little trackers in both noses of the ball. It could be easily sewn in, small little devices on both ends of the ball.
Or you just put it.
They could digitally track it.
Or you just put one in the middle, like where the seam is, and the algorithm would tell you how far the edge is. You know, like it will tell you it has to be here in order to get a first down. It's
but also too that the Buffalo line should have, when you know it's that, you got to get that extra push too. I mean, then you wouldn't have to worry about looking how close it was. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it. I don't know, and I don't even care about next week. Like I really don't care. But I feel
this week was, I hope both teams lose.
But the thing is, though, Josh Allen's just like Big Ben. Yeah, but he's worse than Big Ben because Ben's 0-2 against Brady, and Josh Allen is 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes. Am I right? Is he 0-4 in the playoffs against Patrick? Because I could be wrong. I'm not always right.
I don't know. I don't keep stats for losing. Like I almost got laid like how many times? It's just you don't keep that stat.
Yeah,
but that's not a good. I mean, Josh Allen. How much more can you? That poor. Let's trade Josh. Let's get Josh Allen out of Buffalo.
Ain't happening.
No. I know it ain't happening, but if they ain't giving him a team,
hands. Well,
DJ says they did it with golf balls. You know what they did it with? They tried it with hockey too. Remember the tracer on the hockey pucks? That was more of a distraction than anything, I think. But
I would
cool for highlights, but not during the game.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. And that's the sad
with the
part.
technology we have, they can't do a better job about that.
Well, okay, so before we get out of here, because you're not going to be, next week is the Super Bowl. JT, who are you taking? I know it's a little early.
I just who do I think
you want to watch? Yeah.
Who do I think will win?
Wait a minute. What's this?
I think Philly.
This just happened?
What?
Wow. What the fuck?
Plane from Wichita collided with.
I'm telling you what. If I did a political podcast, me and Shane would be millionaires.
I might have.
Wow.
The inauguration, I got invited.
I've been on that flight. It happened tonight. Wow. I'll have to check that out. Dougie, wow, that's crazy. I feel bad. That's oh my God. Tragic. That's why we talk Steelers football. Philadelphia's going to have to. You can't be close.
If you're bored and you're trying to, overcome, that 15 pounds you gain from, indulging in all the Super Bowl snackies, lickies and chewies, you can join us and we'll talk shit about both teams, guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm going to go just because of Barkley, because he went to Penn State. Because now everybody's taking this bad thing like, oh, everybody's against Kansas City because they don't want Kansas City to be a three-peat.
No,
because the Patriots weren't a three-peat, the Steelers weren't a three-peat. I don't think the Kansas City team right now is the best Kansas City version that they've had in a long time. This is the weakest version of Kansas City.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, they're still winning.
Yeah, and Smoke. We'll probably have Smoke on next week because he'll be all wired up, I'm sure.
I'm surprised we haven't heard from him yet.
Well, he's coming on Friday for the WWE Rumble pick, and
there you go.
Yeah, Stryker said if he talks football, he's jumping off. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm seeing everybody.
You know he can't resist.
I just trying to get everybody's comment before we get out of here. The ref, yeah.
On, JT, it's been a long time coming. We haven't had you on in a minute, so it's good to see you.
Thanks much. Yeah, I'm sorry
you always have an invitation. Always have an invitation. I wish there was a lot more Steeler news that we could actually talk about. We're all speculating and what ifs, and guys, that's all we're doing because there's nothing going on. And us, me and Shane on Wednesdays, we're doing it Wednesdays every Wednesday, and we appreciate all you guys coming in with your questions, your comments. You don't have to agree with us, you know what I mean? But we're trying to make it as entertaining as we can. So, JT, before you get out of here, why don't you plug your Steelers Realm again before you roll out?
Yeah, every Thursday at 9, we'll be back on. We won't be on this Thursday, but we'll be on pre-Super Bowl show. We'll do then. And then coming up later, February 20th, we'll have a special VIP guest, voice of the Steelers, the new voice of the Steelers, Rob King, on our podcast too.
What times are your shows live?
9 p.m. We try to get on up a little early, so we usually shoot for 9:30, between 9:30 or 8:30 and 9. 8:30 and 9. So,
okay.
Yeah, man.
Cool beans.
SteelersRealm.com or anywhere you get your podcast, you can catch us.
Thanks, guys. Devil,
we
thank
need
you
those
always.
YouTube subscribers too, man. So get out there and subscribe to these guys.
Favorite show topic. What was your favorite game ever? You meaning
this year?
Your favorite Steeler game?
There was a Twister game back in 1990.
I like the ones with the red monkeys. What was that one?
Oh, that's a good one too.
That is a good one.
Barrel of monkeys.
You got your thing tonight, Shane?
I did watch them. They were getting trounced in the first half, and then they came back the second half, made it close, but they still lost. A lot of injuries on that squad. But
yeah, maybe next. Thanks, Dawn. Thank you so much. And guys, we do appreciate you guys. Like we'll be here next Wednesday at 9:00, like clockwork. Unless I have to work overtime, but I'm not. I don't work overtime on Wednesdays because this Steelers Dynasty podcast is too important not to have. Because I'm looking to buy a vehicle, so I'm gonna have to work some OT. I'm gonna sell some blood, sell some body parts. You know how that goes.
Whatever.
Game operation. Oh, Afton said, nice to meet you. And Afton's a great person in the community. Huge Steeler fan, too. Okay. So, Shane, I'll be seeing you Friday. JT, thank you as always. And we'll have to get TA on when he's not hunting or working out in the West or the Bayous or something,
He was actually in the air tonight as
in the air.
Yes, and yeah, hopefully he wasn't.
Joe Collins in the air tonight. He's in the air tonight. Oh, so everybody, thank you. If you guys, looking for another podcast, Steelers Realm podcast, they're always live. They're always interactive. And we both live in the same county. That's the funny part. Both podcasts. I live maybe 20 minutes from JT. We're close. Yeah, same town. We could spit in each other's yard and, we'll hit each other. So once again, JT, thank you so much. Shane, as always, we'll see you. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much. We love you. Go Steelers. Hopefully, we got somebody signed by next Wednesday.
Thanks, Gene.
Thanks, Gene. And I can't wait for your Super Bowl football foods on Super Bowl because Gene comes up with the greatest concoctions of food.
Nice.
Yeah, he cooks all the time. He's been on his show. He's thumbs up. Thanks, Gene, for popping in. So, everybody, thank you guys. Have a great night. And if you guys are wrestling fans, Friday night at 8 o'clock, we're going to be doing the Royal Rumble picks on the Triple B Experience show. Okay, guys, thank you. Go Steelers. Have a great night.